Good morning to the folks here on Zoom. So welcome. Glad that you are here with us. Gabby, who are the folks that we have on Zoom? Can you see their? You can see their.
I see that.
Okay. We've got a whole hybrid thing setting up here, which I don't even want to try to understand, but these guys understand it. So that's what's important.
We have Brian, Brooks, Gina, two Melissa, Wanda, and Winnie.
Okay. Morning, and thank you. Keep me honest if I need to move.
Jackie just joined as well.
Jackie, welcome. All right. So we're going to go and get started. Thank you for coming to Senior Roundtable. Really happy that you're here. As you can see, we've got the meetings posted for later this year, and we will talk with our sponsor, Silver Lake Consulting, here in just a little bit. Apologies to those on Zoom. I hope that you also have biscuits, hot scrambled eggs, hash browns, hot coffee, and I think I see some bacon. So I hope that you treat yourself to those same things at home, and we're going to just pretend like you're here with us. And we're going to eat like a biscuit on your behalf. I'm going to commit to that, to putting a biscuit on my plate, thinking of those folks. So welcome. Great to have you. And if we can move to the next, I can move myself to the next. Oh, I'm allowed. By a lot of. Still Laura Stegeman. That has not changed. It is a thrill to be here with you. I love Senior Roundtable. I personally have learned so much that I've used in my life and with other people, and the connections that we get to make with each other, et cetera. So I am really happy to be here with you today as your facilitator. So thank you again for coming. And I heard a rumor that Sandra is going to.
Thank you all for being here today. We're just going to take care of some quick housekeeping while we're in the building. I'm the Vice President of Programs and Services. Before we continue the meeting, I'd like to take a few moments for safety while we're in the building. General awareness and safety is our top priority. In the event of an emergency, please remain calm and follow instructions from staff or personnel, myself, manager, Gabby here. In the event of a fire evacuation, please stop what you're doing in the building. Go to the assembly point that you would go out here, to stairwell, go downstairs and meet back. that corner. Stay there until we everything's safe. Medical emergency, notify immediately. We'll take care of you. And then if there are any security threats or concerns, and thank you for your attention. We don't expect any issues, but being prepared. Also, we haven't seen the rest of
it. Can you hit that on the way out of the building? That part of the rule? No, but either do it ahead of time or we also have first aid down. Kitchen above the fridge. First aid. Perfect. Okay. Hopefully we need none of that, but great to know. And Cassandra, thank you. For ElderSource employees, we have 4 of them in the room. So when they talk about get with an ElderSource person, if you have any questions, there you go on that. Okay. So continuing on. Like I told the animation, which is one of my life. I tell something to happen if it does not. For those joining us on Zoom, and if there's any extra people or if there's anything, Gabby or okay, you're my chat person. Please let us know. If you are on Zoom, if you would be willing, so you can see each other, the 6 folks that are on Zoom. You do have the chat box, and also Herb is our Zoom producer. You can see him; he's chatting to you. Probably I can't see it, but I'm going to assume probably some chatting is going on. And
Laura, can you hear me?
If you need a contact, if you need help with anything, etc., Herb is
Laura.
Yes.
Laura, can you hear me? This is Brooks. Yes. When you get further away from your computer, you start breaking up. Can you stay closer to your computer?
All right. Is this better?
We'll have to see as you talk. It just seems like
okay,
when you move away, we can't hear you.
If this is better, we moved the speaker closer to me. Is that better?
Okay, that seemed a little better. Thank you so much.
I can hear. Okay, we hit the volume also, so we can hear now you better, and hopefully you can hear me better.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. So for those folks on Zoom, and thank you for letting us know that. So on Zoom, we want you guys to have your own connection there as well. Oh, that's so. Okay. All right. So I have been mic'd. Not sure how I feel about that. We're gonna go with it. Okay. So if you are on Zoom, we would love it if you would put your first and last name, and if you want to put your agency, organization, if that's applicable, please feel free to do so. I feel like I'm yelling at everybody. Stop what you're doing. Too much coffee. Stop it already. For those who are brand new coming in, welcome. And Michael from Silverleaf Consulting has given us a great breakfast in the breakout room. Please help yourself. And because I'm Mike, you can still hear me in the other room while you're going your plates with those potatoes and the eggs and all the stuff we bragged about. Okay. All right. So Zoom, I'm going to stop talking about Zoom. Herb's got you covered in the chat box, but if you haven't opened the chat box, it's along the bottom. We're going to use that throughout the meeting. So I want to encourage you to open up the chat. You'll keep yourself on mute unless you have something you want to chime in, and then Herb's going to keep me honest that somebody's asking to talk or raising their hand or whatever. So Herb will just look for you to help us there. So question, is there anybody here that's your first senior roundtable meeting? Love it. Welcome. We hope you will continue to come. Love that. Anybody online that's raised their hand? Who do you got?
Brian is raising his hand.
Brian, welcome. Excellent. If there's anybody else, let Herb know. Okay. So very glad that you're here. Some information will be shared about Senior Roundtable here shortly, so you'll know more about it than you ever wanted to know. And for those who have been here before, you know all of this. You can just talk along with me. So here's where we're going to be going today. Let me get this where I need it. For tomorrow, look, we're holding on you guys to the end. So we're going to first, what is Senior Roundtable? For anybody who's new or just a reminder, again, we have an awesome breakfast sponsored today by Michael with Silverleaf Consulting. He'll have some time on the agenda here in just a little bit. If you have an organizational announcement, once we get to that part of the agenda, if anybody in the room has it, we're going to give you 30 seconds to say, hey, this event's going on, come find me if you're interested, or we need help with this. If anybody can help, let us know. And folks, when we're ready to do that online, please go ahead and put that in the chat box. You can do it ahead of time, but definitely during that time, if there's something you want people to know, that's the time to do that. We have a networking opportunity both online, so you'll have a chance online to interact with each other and in the room. And then we have 3 great groups speaking today under that topic of senior wellness. So we're really excited about that. And then wrapping up and getting you out the door at 10:30. A couple nods to the folks here. The Community Foundation started Senior Roundtable. So this is more for those who have maybe their first time here or it's been a while since you've been here. A few years ago, back in like 2006, 2007, they started looking for opportunities to give grants to elder-serving organizations, elder-serving nonprofits. When Kathleen Shaw at that time, who was in charge of that, started going to the different groups outside of Community Foundation to say, what is it you guys do? What do you need help with? What works, et cetera, that are serving the senior population? They realized that those groups did not know of each other. So somebody may say, we need this, and we get a lot of requests, but we don't do that. And then 2 weeks later, she was somewhere else, and they say, we do this. And she's like, man, that's exactly what this group needed, but they didn't know that this group was here. That's why Senior Roundtable was started. Who does what? Who's out there that has resources? Who could you partner with? Who does what you do? That if you need extra hands, extra help, or need capacity, who could you collaborate with? So that's the intention of this. And then in addition, a great program that will hopefully help everybody in what they do with the folks that you interact with and work with. So that is the intention there with Community Foundation. And they still are our supporter / funder today. Typically, Janet Allen is here in these meetings. Excuse me. I don't know if Janet jumped online to let me know if she's there. But with Janet Allen, she is our liaison. So she's connected to everything we're doing here. And a huge shout out to ElderSource. Again, there's 4 folks in the room that are ElderSource employees. But ElderSource does that email behind the scenes that you get to say, hey, here's the meeting, et cetera. They allow us to use their space, et cetera. So we really appreciate the support that we get from ElderSource. The IT person even has to show up on a Friday. Have a beautiful weekend. So you know that things are good at ElderSource and you got that much help and support. So thank you so much for that. So who is Senior Roundtable? We do meet every other month. It's free to anybody who wants to come. We always encourage you, if there's something you want to forward an email invite to or tell about the program, please feel free to do so. Networking program talked about all that. And again, mission statement is collaborative relationships. That's what it's all about. Again, with a key program that we hope is helpful for you. If you are on this list, please raise your hand. Got a couple of folks here, and I think Kwanzaa is online, so Kwanzaa probably has her hand up as well. Don't know if there's anyone else there that you see, and Gabby, you know that group better. So this group here is the ones behind the scenes that put kind of a list together of what would be some topics that would be helpful. They reach out to different folks, like Here Tomorrow. I didn't have a connection with Here Tomorrow, but Gabby reached out to Here Tomorrow, and they connected us to Jade, who's going to be our speaker today for Here Tomorrow. So they have the connections in the network to say, hey, I know somebody who does that. They're really good at it. That's our topic for next month. Let's invite them in as a speaker. So a huge thank you to the advisory committee. And we're now going to Michael. We're going to switch over to Michael Blythe. Michael is our meeting sponsor today. Again, the Maple Street Biscuit Company. Am I saying it's Maple Street Biscuit? Yeah, that's that the right order. Maple Biscuit Street Biscuit. And if you want to change here towards the speaker, and we got some slides for Michael, by why they can see them on Zoom as well. And here you go. It's the down button right there.
Perfect. Before we start, I'm in camera. My head's out of the way for the presentation. It's hard being tall. This way. Here we go. Okay. Well, I'm really happy to be here, present to all y'all and get you some breakfast. For those that don't know me, my name's Mike Safi. In 2017, I founded Silverlink Consulting after serving as an administrator and manager of different types of assisted livings. I managed ETC Life Community. Familiar with that? And after doing that for about 6 years, I decided to stay here in Jacksonville instead of getting moved around and create a company that helps seniors, no matter what their budget was, and find the care that they deserve and need. So that's our tag slogan. So y'all are going to get all these slides because of the time constraints. I'm just going to kind of breeze through some of this stuff. Most of us already know the reason why most older adults will need some extra care at home or for reasons to move. But this is just some that we like to list. These are kind of the obvious ones. Mobility issues, scheduled care needs. We can usually handle at home. But to pick on Laura, for example, like, do you know when you go to the bathroom? Like, can you tell me the exact minute that you're going to use the restroom?
That's very personal.
I know.
I can ask
Yeah, most people.
Or do I want to? But yeah.
Yeah, most people can't, and they don't want to, which is one of those things that is a good example of care that we can't schedule. So if you think about, services at home versus in a facility where it's 24/7, those are some of the things that we talk to families about when we do consultation. Again, talking about when assisted living makes sense. I always narrow it down really simply to scheduled care versus non-scheduled care. I can tell you when I'm going to give you a shower, and that works at home. I can't tell you when you're going to have a bowel movement or have an incontinence episode, things like that. And 24/7 care is very expensive to have somebody sit around and wait for you to need those or have those. So what sets Silverlink apart? There's a lot of placement companies in town. I started 8 years ago, and I feel like every year there's like 10 more that pop up, which is fine. We like the competition. But some of the things that sets us apart are here. We have over 40 years of combined in the community experience. Everybody who acts as a senior care advisor for Silverlink has at least 2 years of management experience in order to be an advisor. It's the minimum qualification. Most of us have 5+ years experience. And several of the people that work for us have been in senior care longer than I have, which is great. I like to hire people smarter than me, like Brittany, for example. The other thing that makes us different is all of our services are in person. So most of our clients are hospitalized. So they might be sitting at a hospital or a rehab. Family doesn't know what to do. We do an in-person consultation, sit down with them and really spend time to go over all the little details that they're going to see and to talk to them about how to afford care, what expectations they might have in each level of care, and also, what to expect with the transition process, but also in the long term, explaining, hey, you just fell and broke your hip. Maybe your care's, at this level right now, but 60 days from now, hopefully you're better. And maybe that ebbs and flows a little bit. We talk to them about that and what to expect. So this is the coolest part. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. Can we switch over to that webpage? So once we go through our process, which essentially is meeting the client in person, doing a full consultation on their care needs, their budget, their psychosocial situation. We ask questions like, where is your support system? Where does your family live? So for example, we have a family right now that we're helping that Brittany's going to be assigned to because Brittany helps our families in Clay County on the west side. This person lives in Arlington, but all of their support is across the river, closer to Orange Park. So we have our dedicated advisors for that area. Now with this is the end result of those consultations. So this is our community comparison report. And if you want to click on any of those, Gabby, you can just click on any random one of these up here, like with the names of a community. When you finish a consultation with us, we send you kind of like an MLS listing. This is the communities that may be a good fit for you. It's got all the information right at your fingertips. Some of these places, they're not exactly transparent about their pricing. They use a lot of starting at rates, things like that. We include all the rates broken out by floor plan and the levels of care. We explain to each family what their level of care is going to be. But we also, if you go back maybe to like Legacy, for example, here we go, yep. One page back and then up to the top and like choose Silver Treasures. That was Legacy at St. John's. So you'll see we have pictures. This will actually act as a slideshow. We have virtual tours, video tours, all of that stuff. So if your loved one, again, is sitting in that hospital bed at a rehab or the hospital, they're not going to be allowed to leave. So we bring all of that information to them with our iPads. We can show them videos. We can FaceTime. We can basically make it as comfortable and educational for them as possible so they can make it. And again, all the information is broken out at your fingertips right ahead. Another great thing that we do is links to their website and links to AHEC's site as well. Families want to see surveys, complaints, histories, things like that. So we'll go back to the slideshow and wrap up real quick. We also, these are some questions to ask any placement company. So I always encourage them to ask us this. Just some simple things like, will they go on a tour with you? We tour every client in person. We're alongside with them for the tours. And we actually now sit in on the lease signings and help answer all their questions throughout the sales process. We schedule the movers. We make sure they move in. We do a walkthrough before they move in so that, basically acting as the sales team because sales teams are busy and they have 12 to 15 move-ins a month usually. You don't want your loved one to be one of 12 to 15. You want your loved one to be the one. That's why we add all this extra service. And then, of course, big thing is what type of information do they give you up front? Do they give you a list of just names and numbers to call? Do they give you pricing? Do they say, tour this place and tell me if you tour it and think about it? All of those are good to know before you choose a placement company. Because once you choose one, you're stuck with it for the most part. Okay, so this is just a little information on how to discuss as well. So most people call in. A lot of our clinical partners, they fax face sheets and all of our clinical information to help us with the consultation. And then if you're interested in working with us regularly, we even have a link that we can give you guys. It's a live link system where you put the information in, you upload whatever file you want, and it goes right into our computer system, and we're calling that person about 5 minutes. Yeah, so that's SilverLink in a nutshell, and just want to say thank you for letting me come out and talk to you about all of it.
Thank you, Michael, and for the nice breakfast. For being our sponsor, and for those on Zoom, the breakfast really is not that good. The biscuit was hard, the egg rolled. So even though I bragged about the breakfast, I just don't want you to feel bad. I'm here in person. Okay. So, if you have truly 30 seconds if you are in the room, if you have a senior focused announcement. If you are on Zoom, if you will put that in chat, Herb eventually will share with us what that might be. But does anybody have a quick announcement? Again, truly just what is it? How do they contact you and get more information? Because we're going to move quickly into our next piece.
Anybody wanting to focus on the St. John's and Knockett area, we do have a collaborative group that meets each Friday of every month. We'd be happy to give more information about that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Please, Michael.
So in addition to Silver Lake, I support the Shepherd Center of Orange Park a lot. If you're interested in teaching an exercise class on Thursdays in Fleming Island, you can take my old spot. There's about 20 ladies that show up every week to see me. Look at the youth.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think somebody over here has something.
Sorry, we have announced for Healthy Aging Day, so mark your calendars for Saturday. If you're interested, all 16 of our rotations right around that moment. Talk to you all later.
Anyone else from this table? All right, anyone from this table?
Yes, we have a survivorship event next week. So it's next Wednesday from 9 to 1 at FSCJ campus downtown. So you guys can see me about that.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you. Janet, anything to add? Okay. And then Herb, anything on chat? Okay. Nope. All right. So all those things you just heard, if you're on LinkedIn, if you join the Senior Roundtable on LinkedIn, we'll put that information out there shortly. Herb will come to you in just a second. You can post those things in that Senior Roundtable group. That's the intention of that. As you can see here, we'll show you here in just a second. So I'm going the wrong way. You'll see that here in just a second. And it's also an opportunity to keep in touch with each other, but also you can put exactly the kinds of things we heard here that can go in that Senior Roundtable link. And then you can find everybody. I think there's 120 people or something in that group. Or somebody maybe posted.
Yes, Gina Bloom needs lifelong learning, has a fabulous film and discussion programs in a new series celebrating. Gina.
Okay. And then anything that goes into the chat box, which you cannot see, but he will alert us of, we will clean that up and we'll send that out next week when we send out the link for this recording. We'll include anything that's relevant information there to share. Okay, so it'll give you a chance to find out who is in the room. So we're going to have several rounds here. Round one is your vacation personality. This is an opportunity to meet folks in the room that you don't know, etc. You can see 4 ones there, and Herb's going to run the Zoom here. I'll comment on that just a second. So as you take a look at this, which one fits you? And when you're ready, go to somebody in the room you do not know. If you prefer to sit or you have a comfort level of sitting, people can come to you if they notice that. Or if you're okay getting up and walking around, find a person that you do not know and please introduce yourself. And you're only going to have 2 to 3 minutes for this. It's pretty quick to introduce yourselves, say hello, which one do you fit, etc. When you hear the chime, that tells you that you have a minute left, and then you're going to hear a chime that's non-stop chiming, really irritating, that says your time is up, and I'm going to ask you to pick a new partner for round 2. So with that, take a look, and then on Zoom, you're going to also let Herb know, again, if you don't have the chat up yet on Zoom, he's probably putting some instructions in there, and hopefully you can see that, you got it, the PowerPoint?
I'll follow.
Okay, very good. All right, so anyone, take a look, anyone that's in the room? And then let me just give you about 10 seconds. If you will find somebody in the room you do not know, introduce yourself as it says up there and which vacation sounds best. So when you're ready, please feel free to mutate. And if you physically want to stay
All right, for those of you in the virtual setting, I'm going to place 2 questions in the chat. So I'm going to send you to a breakout room, introduce yourself, where you work, then answer those 2 questions, and we'll bring it back in about 5 minutes or so. All right, here we go. So you'll have to open up the chat. And it should start to be moving now.
Okay, thank you. And I know we had some extra people join. I don't know if you remember names from the very beginning. Rosa joined, was a couple other folks that came in after the fact. So how do you keep in touch with each other and network? Again, the intention of this whole thing, who's doing what? How do you collaborate with each other? Here are some additional ways, and I mentioned that. We will send this next week with the post-meeting information that we'll be sending out. If you're not getting emails, you can check with Gabby, who's right over here, the magical Gabby at the table. LinkedIn group, we mentioned that also, and it's a great place that you can connect each other, but also post events you might need help with. And then we have a YouTube channel, and you can see in front of you, I've handed out a yellow piece of paper. Those are all the programs that we have recorded that are on the YouTube channel. Some of them, even like a 2022, you would think, okay, that's 4 years ago, but some of the information does not change, like the medical marijuana. There's a bunch of different things on there. Understanding Medicaid, that probably still is relevant years down the road. So if there's a topic there that's interesting to you, take a look at it. It's all on the YouTube channel as a recording, as this meeting will also be. So with that, we are moving forward, and I think they've got this online. And again, the folks online, we will send this out next week with the meeting notice, the post-meeting information. So our program today is senior wellness. We're really excited about that. And we've got 3 different kind of areas that we're going to be talking about with this. We're going to start in this order here. Each of those first couple of folks have 15 minutes. If you need up to 15 minutes, please time yourself if you'd be willing to do that. And then the ElderSource is going to take it from there and move us forward. With that, with the Northeast Florida Area Health Education Center, I said that correctly, I hope. We'll start with them in just a second. And I don't know if you had slides or anything like that. And if not, we can just leave this up. And then for the folks who are online, there's something when ElderSource does their presentation that is a link. For anybody who had registered by late last night, I sent that to you via email. So you probably have an email from Laura at Florida Training Solutions with that link. And if not, at some point, Herb's going to put that in there before ElderSource gets started. So you will have that link there as well. We'll remind you about that when we get ready for that. So with that, AHEC, if you would be willing to come up and take over, you've got it. And I could give you this, but I don't know how to unhook myself. So here's the speaker.
Okay.
Whatever you would like to do.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Tonya Benjamin, was Tonya Harris, but Tonya Benjamin, and I'm the Executive Director at Northeast Florida Area Health Education Center. And so everybody should have this pamphlet on their table. This is just a little pamphlet about who we are and the services that we offer to our older adults. So when we look at healthy aging or senior health, we do offer a plethora of programs for our older adults. These programs range from improving balance, exercise and nutrition, building skills to manage health, and we also have a caregiver program. So all of our programs are at no cost. We are always looking for sites in the community where we can bring our programs to. Currently, we partner with all the senior centers. We partner with the city of Jacksonville. We do programming from Baker County all the way down to Volusia County. So if you are an organization in any of those counties, you can reach out. I'll leave my card and information, but you can reach out to me and we will come to your site. We have local churches that we partner with. So we come to you, we meet our seniors where they are, and we bring these programs into the neighborhood. So I'm gonna focus a little bit on a couple of our programs that are most popular. One of the programs is, we call it HEED, but it's Healthy Eating Every Day, and it's an exercise and nutrition program. This program is once a week for 14 weeks. We cover a wide range of different activities and exercises, anywhere from label reading. It's all of our programs are very interactive, so it's not like we're just classroom style and somebody is standing lecturing. That's not the style of these programs. These programs are evidence-based, and so they are extremely interactive. With our Healthy Eating Everyday program, we usually partner with a grocery store in the area where we're doing the program, and we take our seniors there on a grocery store tour. The produce manager or somebody from the produce department comes out, gives our seniors education about different produce. We give them a gift card, so when they're at the grocery store, they can purchase produce. And so this is just an example of how interactive our programs are. Another program that we have a waiting list for this program is our fall prevention, and it's a matter of balance program, and it helps with the fear of falling, and it also helps to address when you do fall. And so this program, again, we usually have a waiting list in Duval and Volusia County where we don't have enough sites and we don't have enough programming to go around for our Matter of Balance programs. A couple of popular mentions are our diabetes programs. So we have 2 diabetes programs. One is DEEP, and that's Diabetes Empowerment Education Program. The other one is a diabetes self-management program. Again, all of our programs are very interactive. We use common ingredients that you can find in your pantry, any pantry, and we show our participants how to eat these, how to prepare them in the healthiest way. A lot of people know that they have to eat fruits and vegetables, so we don't go through that, but we help to educate our seniors and how to prepare what you have, so they know that they have to eat fruits. Sometimes they don't have vegetables. Sometimes they don't have access to fruits and vegetables. So we help them based on what they have to find healthier ways to prepare it. We also show them live the amount of sugar that is in certain ingredients. We go through label reading and what this means and what it looks like. We also go through blood pressures and heart health. We have a chronic pain self-management program that talks about chronic pain, living with chronic pain, how to manage your chronic pain, and other ways that you can address chronic pain. We look at other holistic ways that you can address chronic pain. So these are all a list of programs that we offer. Again, our programs are at no cost. We have been around, Northeast Florida AHEC has been around since 1996. And through a very strong partnership with ElderSource, we have been so grateful that every year we are able to provide programs and help to our older adults. So that's it for me, you guys. I can talk all day, but I try to stay within the 15 minutes. So if you have not heard of us before, our information is at the back of the brochure. And if you are looking for interactive activities to bring to your sector or to bring to your organization, please, we would like for you to give us a call. If you have an office site and you want to do more at that site for the older adults in the community around that site, please give us a call. Thank you.
Tanya, thank you. When we reached out to Tanya weeks ago when all this got planned, she immediately said, absolutely, I would love to. And you can hear that enthusiasm and how sincere and passionate they are about that. So it sounds like you will come to somebody's organization. So if there's an assisted living, nursing home, or something like that, you will go there.
Absolutely.
So all of those folks, like the work that Michael does, work that Pamela does, they see all these different places, even grabbing some brochures with those kind of key vendors that you guys have to say, did you know that AHEC will do this for your residents? So that's one of the things I love about Senior Roundtable is it may not be what they do and they don't need that class themselves. Maybe they do. I'll speak for myself. Some of those I could use. But you know that they have all these contacts out there that can help and let people know that that's out there. So thank you so much. Tanya, if you have that electronically, we will include that in the post-meeting email next week. And that way the folks on Zoom will also get that, but everybody in here would get an electronic copy as well. Okay. Anything, Herb, from chat or anything that we need to know? Okay. So with that, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to switch to here tomorrow's stuff while you're so good. These, I don't know how I would do it without them. I barely do it with them. So you can see how bad it would be without them. So come on up if you'll do a self-introduction, and thank you again for coming. Again, immediately said yes, we would love to be there. Thank you for inviting us. So here tomorrow is on the next part of the agenda.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. This is my first time here. My name is Jade Bond. I work at Here Tomorrow. I'm our adult program manager. And just before I get into the heavy stuff about what we do, I do have some fun stuff. There's lots of flyers about our program, all of our support groups and events, because we do have quite a few support groups for the community that are also no cost. They're all over here. And then there's some really fun Be Kind to Your Mind self-care workbooks and lots of really cool stickers. So lots of fun stuff over here for you guys. But like I said, I'm our adult program manager at Here Tomorrow. And I thought a lot about how to share with you guys. Yep.
I probably walked around with it.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
down the hallway. This side. Down the hallway.
There we go. Okay. So I'll have the PowerPoint going in the background while I talk, and I'll click through it. This will also get sent out to you guys in a PDF that has lots of good information about the proven and scientific evidence-based results of peer support for suicide prevention. But I kind of just wanted to also speak from the heart, because a lot of people in the community don't really know about what we do. So at Here Tomorrow, we are no-cost suicide prevention. And I just want to share with you why I personally believe in the mission and what we are doing at Here Tomorrow. When I was 8, I actually lost my grandfather and my great-grandmother to suicide. Didn't find out what happened until I was much older. But the very first thing I thought was, I wish he had told somebody. I wish he had known just how much we loved him. And I wish we would have seen the signs. And that's why I really love Here Tomorrow, because we're here to see the signs. My grandfather came from a generation and a religious background where you didn't talk about suicide. You didn't talk about depression. You didn't talk about feeling hopeless. But looking back, you could hear it in the things he did say. He would talk about feeling alone, feeling everything rested on his shoulders, or feeling trapped, feeling like he had no real options. Those are our key words. I often think about what could have happened if someone trained to truly listen, not just to what he was saying, but to what he wasn't saying, had been there to support. And I often think about, nope, I already said that. That's one of the reasons I truly believe so strongly in Here Tomorrow and the power of peer support. I believe a conversation rooted in understanding, connection, and lived experience could have helped him feel less alone. And I believe that there are seniors in our community right now who could use this type of support. At Here Tomorrow, all of our services, like I said, are offered at no cost. We're privately funded to the individuals we serve and support and can remain completely anonymous. We offer same-day support over the phone, virtually, or in person. All you have to do is call, and you will immediately be connected to a peer on the phone. Or just walk in. If someone doesn't want to call, they're nervous, they can walk in with a safe person, they can wait in the lobby, we'll have the session. We try to make it as accessible and easy to get to as possible. Our focus at Here Tomorrow is prevention of suicide and hopelessness, because we know hopelessness often begins long before someone reaches a crisis point, and we want to offer support before things escalate to that level. At Here Tomorrow, we're not clinicians, so we don't diagnose, we don't offer medication. We're just regular people. We have lived life experience, we've been hopeless, we felt suicidal, and we've lost loved ones to suicide. And we want to help people get through that to the other side. We all come from lots of different walks of life, lots of different experiences, but the one thing we all do have in common is we didn't get through it alone. And so we want to be that person for others. Typically, we meet with individuals we serve about weekly, once a month the first month. Then we space it out to bi-weekly. Then it's once a month, then every couple of months, until we get to day 365. And the hope there is that we've helped people connect to additional services like you guys, community support, help them build a support system, help them build coping skills, grounding skills, help them work on things like box breathing, and learn what really is still in their control. One of the truly special things about Here Tomorrow is that it doesn't disappear outside of scheduled sessions. If you're struggling, crisis happens anytime, right? All you have to do is call Here Tomorrow, and even if your peer isn't available, you can speak to any of our peers, and we'll be there with you. This year's Here Tomorrow celebrated its 5-year anniversary. Very cool. And in that time, we've served nearly 400 individuals aged 60 and older. We've also supported 57 individuals who identified as veterans, first responders, or many both, through our MBFR program run by the wonderful Brandon Hicks, who is not only himself a first responder, the child of a veteran. So he can really understand that experience that someone is sharing. And it's also important to note that of those 400, of the ones who chose to fill out our demographic information, 106 identified as low income, which I think is huge and speaks to the need for services like what you guys have in the community, all this extra support, because there's just not enough out there. Personally, I've worked with many seniors over the years, and I cannot tell you how many times I've heard someone say, this is the first time I've ever told somebody about this, or I didn't realize how much I just needed to say this out loud. And sometimes just being heard without judgment, fear, or shame is enough to help someone feel lighter for the first time in years or their entire life at 80. So my hope today is simple. The next time you hear someone say they feel trapped, stuck, hopeless, alone, or like they're a burden, I hope you remember Here Tomorrow and give us the opportunity to help remind them that there is still connection, support, purpose, and a life worth staying for. Thank you guys so much for the work you do, and I hope we can continue to connect further. And there's lots of fun stuff over. Thank you, Laura.
Any questions for Jade before we let her off the hook here? Please.
Do you guys serve youth? Can hear that?
We do, actually. We do have a youth program. So we take, really it's middle school up. But we do have a 10-year-old in our program and an 11-year-old. So we're always willing to have the conversation. And if we are not the appropriate service for someone, we will help them find it. Because we aren't clinicians, someone who is experiencing something like pretty severe memory loss, we might not be the best fit for, but we will find someone who is. Yeah.
Any other questions for Jade? And all your cool stuff I passed out to everyone,
Awesome.
and then there's extra materials in the back for them. So please feel free, please.
What counties do you?
We serve everywhere.
Okay.
All over the world. We have friends that we serve in China. We've worked with people in England, Israel, Germany. We had to get someone on the ambulance in Germany once. So we will serve people everywhere and anywhere. All they have to do is give us a call and ask for help, and we will be there.
And Jade, actually you have a question back there, please.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, is your only office in Jacksonville, or do you guys have offices?
We are hoping to grow, but our only office, we're actually located in Neptune Beach. And so that's our physical space. That's where we have our support groups. We have a support group for people who've lost a loved one to suicide. We also have a general mental health rehydration that anyone's welcome to come to, even if they aren't feeling suicidal or hopeless, they just need some extra support, because life is hard. They are welcome to come to our general support groups as well at no cost. Those are offered in person, but we also have a Melanin Mind support group that is virtual once a month. And then I think we're looking to expand some of our military and first responder support groups and a virtual youth support group in the future. So more coming, and then hopefully a new physical office coming in the next few years too.
Any other questions for Jade? I got one more for her. Go ahead.
So is it just suicide prevention? Like I'm out in the community and I talk to like caregivers, they're stressed, they're anxious. Let's say they're not suicidal, but they have mental health. What's the best?
They can give us a call. And sometimes like that can come with hopelessness. That can come with that feeling of like being stuck. So it's not just, someone who might have attempted suicide or is having passive suicidal thoughts. If someone feels really stuck and they don't know where to move forward with their mental health, they can always call us. And even if you're like, ooh, I don't know if Here Tomorrow's the right resource, send them our way anyway. We will still have a conversation with them. I always tell people there's truly nothing lost by coming to Here Tomorrow because there's no cost. You don't even lots of people don't even give us their real name. Everything is anonymous. Nobody ever even has to know you called us, and we will never charge you a single cent. So even if you're not totally sure that we're the right resource, still send them our way and we'll figure that out.
I have one question for Herb. Let me make sure I'm not cutting anyone off. And then Herb, is there anything in the chat?
Nope, you're good.
So Jade, I got a chance to meet Brandon Hick, who she mentioned a couple years ago in a completely different environment. And he was telling us about Here Tomorrow, and it was almost too good to be true, to be honest. It was like, it's free for everybody. It's instantaneous. Like you're not waiting 4 weeks for an appointment. And then I went on the website and I read all about it. And then I started meeting some other folks that work there. And it truly is exactly what it sounds. It's really amazing that it's available. Didn't even know that it was, worldwide. I thought it was probably the 4 or 5 counties or whatever, which is pretty typical. So it is real. And I think you even have some specialty groups. I don't know if there's a definite better way to say that, but aren't there some groups that are there's support groups for certain folks that have some things in common that I saw on the website?
So we have our Melanin Mind support group that is for people of color in the community that meets virtually once a month and in person once a month because we want to have both options available. And then we have quite a few youth support groups. So we have a co-ed group, and I believe we have a girls group and a boys group. All of those are on the flyers that Laura passed out. And then we have the Hope and Healing After Loss, which is our grief support group. And we had a military veteran first responder group at one point. Our numbers were kind of low, but we're actually kind of teaming up with a couple organizations to write love on our arm to get some help and support getting our name out there. So hopefully we'll have even more support groups for those communities. Yeah.
Right. And officially now Jade is off the hook.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So again, I mentioned about the collaborations with the Roundtable, that there's so many different avenues that these resource knowledge can help with. This is an example of that. So I met Jade, we talked on the phone a few weeks ago and got all set up for today. Completely separate than this, I've got something I do, an initiative that helps people who have lost jobs. And I was talking to Jade, I said, where everybody knows if you've ever lost a job or somebody's lost a job, there's a grieving and it's hard and whatever. I said, would you guys be interested in being a guest on this other initiative to talk about the grieving process, how to move through it? Again, they said immediately yes. So we're scheduling them in the next month or so to be one of the guests on that, to talk about how Here Tomorrow can help even in those kinds of situations. So again, benefit to Senior Roundtable and people being willing to share. So Jay, thank you for coming. Thank you for the follow-up that we're going to be doing. And again, reach out to her. They're awesome. All right. So we're going to switch gears.
It's a request for your email. Go ahead.
Do you have a card or something that we can put in the chat box?
I can give you a card, but I will write my email down for my name as well.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll put that in the chat.
And I'll put it in a moment.
And we do have brochures for them. We have a bunch of brochures. I don't know if you heard that. You put in the chat box already the brochures. Does that have their contact info also? Okay. And then everybody else has that in front of them. There are extra materials I put in the back. So if you want to grab anything else that has been in front of you, including Michael, the extra materials are in the back. Feel free to grab as you go. So we're going to now switch it over to ElderSource, who has this really cool assessment that has several different parts to it. We're going to get a chance to experience that in the class today. For those on Zoom, I mentioned if you registered by, sadly, 11 p.m. last night, which is when I shut down my computer, I sent you a link for that assessment that also Herb is putting it in the chat box. But whichever way it's easiest for you to get, you've got that there. And I'm going to turn it over to our ElderSource folks. Gabby, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Hi, virtual people. I'm ready for my post. Good morning, everybody. I'm Gabby. I'm the communication specialist here at ElderSource. So happy Older Americans Month. So we want to focus on supporting the health and well-being of older adults. And so I'm the communication specialist here. I'm joined with Cassandra and Janet. I'm going to focus on BetterAge today, but Cassandra's going to join us soon and talk about more of the programs that we offer. So this is just one offer. It's BetterAge. So it's a self-assessment that we're now offering. And I have my notes because I have a lot of stuff written down. So what is BetterAge and why am I talking about it? So BetterAge is a self-assessment. It takes 7 to 10 minutes to complete. And we've been encouraging older adults, caregivers to do this assessment. It's something that you can do on your phone or on your laptop. And we also brought paper surveys in case somebody is not comfortable with using it. Our target audience is 50 and up, but the goal is to help older adults with their health and well-being. So when somebody completes a self-assessment, immediately after you get a report, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you some feedback. But what's most important too is that we're getting all the aggregated data, and this is going to help us know what older adults need in Northeast Florida. What are the gaps? What are they missing? What programs do we need to have? And this helps us with our area plan too. So what is self-assessment and what can I expect when I take it? So it's going to ask you questions about your quality of life, your mental health, financial security. You have access to safe and affordable housing, areas of health you would like to improve. I just took it last night, and that's how I know. When you complete it, so right on the spot, if you complete it on the computer, a report will pop up. It's completely personalized to you. It'll have tips and recommendations. The idea is that we want an older adult to take the assessment, they get their feedback, and then we want them to start acting. So it's going to ask you, and then after you do it, you're going to get a report. What BetterAge learned about you, your top strengths, where there's room to grow. The best part is that it can be done anonymously. I've found that a lot of older adults are scared to take self-assessments because we're out here telling them, don't give out your personal information. Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the text. So, they're very weary about, putting their personal information anywhere. But the good thing is that BetterAge, it can be done anonymously. Or if you want, you can put your email in and you can get your report. And it can be interactive. Let's say, okay, you're having trouble with sleeping. You work on it, come back, take it again. All right, let's see. And so like I had mentioned, the good part is that the data gets aggregated, comes back to us, and it helps us know what are the gaps in the community. So we had over about 250 people take the survey so far, so I wanted to show you guys what we're finding. So here are the consumer health priorities. which I mean, Tonya, I'm sure knows about this. The majority of the people said physical activity is their primary priority. And in second place, we have nutrition. Third place, we have brain health. And then in fourth place, we have chronic condition management. Social determinants of health. The biggie was financial health. And it seems a lot of older adults are worried about having access to healthy food. Are you seeing that too, Tonya?
Yeah.
And then transportation, actually, that's a big one too. That's why our last meeting, the Senior Roundtable, we focused on transportation. That was one of the most well-attended meetings I've seen in a long time. A lot of people are worried about transportation. Health barriers. So let's see, a lot of older adults are saying physical limitations. 143 said that's one of their biggest health barriers. Mobility is a big issue. I've seen issues with older adults, let's get them in a wheelchair or walker. They can't even get around their own house, can't even get their wheelchair into the bathroom. I've seen older adults can't even get out the front door. They don't have a wheelchair around. That's a biggie. Let's see, managing one or more health conditions, social anxiety. Other health barriers. So our top response was an energy barrier. I'm sure we all know about that. Comfort asking for help. Yeah, a lot of people, they have, it's hard to ask for help, especially when you've been independent your whole life. And then digital literacy, that's a big one that I've seen too. And that's why we also offer the paper surveys. So if you ever have an older adult that's like not comfortable using a tablet, we offer these in paper, and you can always give it back to us, or you can input it for them. So let's try it out. So I wanted to take a few minutes to let you guys try it out yourself. I put a QR code here, and if you need a tablet, I have Janet with me. She's the pro. She has the tablet if you wanted to try it yourself. I encourage you guys to take it. It can be anonymous. You don't have to put your name. You can just put your initial or any random letter, and then just to see what comes out of it. And then I'll just give you guys a few minutes, put some music on.
So yeah, I don't think I should like 4 or 5 tablets, 2 laptops back here that I can help set you up for if you want to do it that way. You can be any age to take this. It gives you at the end, if you choose to give your email or your name or your then you can get a report and it'll give you tips and recommendations. And so that's really helpful to create an account, but you can do it anonymously and you can do it at any age.
So you can do it on your phone. You got the QR code there. If somebody needs something other than the QR code, we got the link. We can tell them what the link is, or is it on some of the material that's in front of them, or do we have it on the material?
I have
Secondly, if you do put your email, you do get a really very interesting report. Based on your assessment, it's going to tell you what areas you may want to focus on, give you tips, etc. So if you want to see the whole process for yourself, even if you're the 20-year-old sitting in this room, I know I fit that category myself, I still found it helpful. Like it said, you're not sleeping, you need to, here's some tips to help you with sleeping, or here's your health tips or whatever. So if you want to see it, and then plus also sharing it with others, so you can kind of see what does that report look like that you have also completed yourself. What are they going to get? If you're talking to somebody who's a senior, or again, any age, what is it that they're going to get? And you can see that. So there's a follow-up to that says, here's where you are based on your answers. Here's some things that will help you. So it's really perfect for the senior wellness. What does somebody want to focus on? So you have a couple options. It takes anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to do it. So we're going to stop talking and give you that time. If you're on Zoom, I think Herb's got that in there.
I was going to say just what she said. So once you take it, let's say, for example, like she said, I'm having trouble sleeping. And at the end, it would say, okay, it's like you're having trouble with this. Here's some tips on how to go to bed earlier. For example, I had put in managing chronic conditions. Right? I have eczema my whole life, I have asthma, and it gave me tips how to manage my chronic conditions. The whole point is that it gives older adults information on the spot. We want to empower that older adults to support their health and well-being. So they say, okay, I have it right at my fingertips. Here's my tips, here's my recommendations, and they go from there. It's meant to be a starting point. And so that's what's so valuable. And like I said, all the information comes back to us. I don't get all the personal details. I just get the bigger idea. And then we're going to start putting these into our area plan. We can see what the big issue is, or issues are, I should say.
So I will ask if you are completing it and you finish it, and if you're looking at your email and you already get your email report, just let us know. Let's see how fast that moves. And then she's going to put some assessment music on. Right brain, left brain in the back of the room here.
You want a tablet? We have paper up there. So we really encourage you to do it right now, because you're not gonna really be able to promote it within your organization and tell people about it, encourage them to do it, so you do it yourself.
Oh, Gabby, did you want me to put it up? Don, I told you to.
Oh, you did. So when one like a tablet put on, I figured everyone in the room would be very phone, user friendly to help you through. If you have any issue or question when you're on your phone, I like the go-to person.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
If you've done it the last 6 months, we ask that you not do it again.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is.
Do you want a tablet? And there's also Wi-Fi, if anybody needs to jump on the Wi-Fi here, if that's helpful. Again, first person who sees the report come in, let us know. We'll see how fast this turns around.
I think that's changed the.
You know how fast you got your report? I got mine, like, the light bulbs right there. That's what we're counting. A lot of it.
That's what you have. We're giving the hard time. Check it.
Whatever it is. Any questions on mine?
Nope.
Has anybody got their report yet? Their email? If you put your email address, tell us if you got your report. Should be pretty, like, right away. You should be getting your report in your email.
Some of the sections are very thought provoking. And so like, yeah. They're trying to be honest. You know,
So you get good
Trying to be
results.
honest.
Good, just, yeah.
this thing was spot on. If it came back. Okay. Pivot to some of our programs and services that we have here at Vivo. As we mentioned in the beginning, it is Older Americans Month, and so we're double decorated for that. We have buttons like this in the back for you to take if you'd like to spread the word. 58 million older adults around the country are being celebrated during the month of May. And so this year's theme is Champion Your Health. And so starting with Vivo, we partnered with Vivo fitness classes. They're free live online fitness classes that combine strength building for brain exercises. The classes are offered 2 times a week for free for anyone who's 60, it can be 55 and older. If you have a caregiver who is doing, who has an older adult that they're having go to the class, the caregiver, that And they're real trainers, they're trainers to, even though it's online, they're looking for all the signs when someone is doing an exercise. So it's very safe for someone to do the exercise online and to give everybody time to stay caught up. And all you have to do is call our caregiver support department, or call our caregiver support at eldersource.org. Have it, Kathy? Are you advancing me? You're fine. Okay, because I can't think. Thank you. And then we also have our tailored caregiver assessment and referral program, which we call it T-Care. And it is a program that helps caregiver burnout. We have counselors who create care plans that offer support and connect with caregiver resources that best meet their needs. So this is available in all 7 counties, and Foundation supporting this, and it's a wonderful program. It's one-on-one. People talk with our T-Care counselors, tell them what their issues are, and they check back with them on a regular. And then our virtual caregiver support group, also with those same counselors, they're face-to-face, a whole group of people. Of course, they have to have internet access or be able to get on their phone. And they're 60 to 90 minute sessions. We have them on, I believe it's Wednesdays, like 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. And then I think sometimes we have evening groups as well. So the caregiver virtual support group, so anyone can join. And sometimes caregivers are further than in 7 counties. They're people as far as like North Carolina or West, and they really get to talk with others who are going through the same kind of things, and also share resources. And then our Veterans Directed Care Program. These are another ElderSource Direct program. We partner with the administration and receive referrals from them for keep veterans in their own homes. And what we do is help the veteran hire a caregiver to take care of them, and we do the case management. They are paid to hire them, so they pay them someone they trust or know in their home, and they're always referred by administration from their doctor. Really help keep our thank you. That really explains it. The veteran or a family representative hires that schedules all the care and support, and then fiscal agent, but so much more, because the team goes out, assess, know the veteran, understand their needs, and we just help keep them on track.
And Janet mentioned that Vivo is for 55 and older.
It is 55 and older.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
So I haven't looked into this before with you guys, but the veteran program where ElderSource acts as the fiscal agent, so the family is paying out of pocket, or the family is paying, so that's not insurance.
No, it's not insurance. So this program is the veterans, the VA, they allocate a certain amount of funds for their care, and then they have a veterans representative. Like, say there's the veteran, there's the caregiver, and then there's like family member or a friend who manage business. So they do a timesheet, they submit it to us, and then we submit it to the VA, and the VA pays the caregiver.
What criteria does the veteran have to fall?
They have to be the VA doctor has to sign off and do the referral.
Okay.
And so they have to be in the VA health system, yes. And then they have to be scored. So we get them at different levels, less than others who need total care, and then that's how the money is allocated. So we don't have control. The packet comes over to us and says, yes, Veteran Jones gets this much money, this amount, and then they can decide what the pay rate is gonna be for the veteran and for the caregiver for that veteran within a certain range. So we manage that this whole that. Of course, we also get the Department of Health funding, ACL, and manage the whole for.
And Michael, you had a comment or question?
So the part that ElderSource does is if the veteran is being cared for by a family or spouse.
Right.
Yeah, it could be like the wife, and we help them, basically we help the veteran. Set them up. And I think we even help them pay the taxes.
Yeah.
They give us a time card. If the husband wants to pay the wife to be a caregiver, we'll make sure that wife has the time card, make sure that wife gets paid.
Yeah. Yeah. Really awesome program. Correct? That's the person who manages it. So it has to be
Someone that has dementia or something like that, it's not able to do it.
right. The veteran can manage that caregiver, but if the veteran is unable to,
That can't be the case for itself.
they can't.
Yes.
Right. So I went on a new enrollment the other day. Had a veteran, his wife is a caregiver, and she can only bill up to 40 hours a week. She does a 20 a day, but vet rep is their youngest son, and so signed off working to make sure that it's all the time sheets into us. He acts sort of as the parent. We have lots of partners who are we bounce ideas off of.
Sandra, if people have questions about that, how do they get a hold of somebody? Do they call?
So you would call our helpline. I don't know where that number is, Gabby, the helpline. You always call our helpline. Our helpline can direct you to our department that goes to the Veterans Direct Care Program. However, keep in mind, it has to be a referral. We can't refer. Have to register to get our recommend contact today.
Anything else before we wrap up the meeting and get people out the door?
No, it's Older American. I have buttons in the back. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, ElderSource. Thank you so much. So in the back of the room, and again, if you're online, we've got most of these electronically for you, and we'll get those to you in the post-meeting email next week. In the back of the room is extra brochures for Michael. For everybody that you heard talk today, all of extra things and more are in the back, including those awesome buttons from Sandra. So please help yourself as you're heading out the door. There's also some breakfast left. If anybody feels like they need nourishment to be able to leave this awesome, exciting meeting and you're just exhausted and you need some fueling, there's still some things left in there. So please help yourself. Round of applause for Michael and our speakers today. Next week will be via Zoom on July 23rd. Hope to see you there. We're back here at ElderSource September 8th. And then we'll wrap up November. And by the way, this is Janet Ellen that I introduced. She come in the door when you missed her. That's the famous Janet Ellen with the Movie Foundation right there. She's somebody who's in the room if you haven't introduced yourself with Janet. So with that, thank you to her, Gabby, the ElderSource staff, everybody else that helped today. And we hope to see you virtually in July. So thank you so much. Have a good, awesome weekend.